So we're about a day away, well at this point probably less than a day away from Grand Theft Auto Online Bikers, so I'm going to be doing another giveaway. This time I'm going to be handing out $3.5 million to one lucky person, and that giveaway is going to be ending in a few days. So I'm going to be giving it after the DLC releases, just to kind of let you guys check out some of the content. So check that tweet out in the description. I will leave a link to it. $3.5 million. I am going to be giving that away to one lucky person who watches this video. So check that out in the description. I'll give you guys a reminder at the end though, because today what I'm going to be talking about is an updated version of how much money I believe you're going to need for the Grand Theft Auto Online Bikers DLC. So the reason I wanted to do an updated version is because I wanted to sort of wait out Rockstar to see what they were going to do. As of the time I'm recording this video, which is about midday, almost noon on Monday, there is no trailer for the Grand Theft Auto Online Bikers DLC, which is very, very surprising to say the least. In fact, one of the only other times Rockstar has not released a trailer for a next generation update was something along the lines of Lowriders Customs Classics, which kind of received a trailer, but it was released the day of, and it was like 15 seconds long, and by then we already know everything that comes out, so that trailer's just, I guess, to show off some of the cool things in a more cinematic way. And the reason I wanted to wait out Rockstar's trailer is because it might give us a better idea of what to expect in this update, and also how much money we're going to need for all of the content inside. However, because that really isn't the case, and the DLC is really at this point just a couple hours away, I guess I'm left with no choice but to update you guys, even though there is no Grand Theft Auto Online Bikers DLC trailer. So I guess in order to start this, we need to go back to what Rockstar have told us so far. And what they've told us so far is 2 Newswire articles, which have revealed only a little bit of information, including 6 news screenshots, which I'll show you guys on the screen right now. You guys have most likely seen these previously from other videos or on Twitter or on other websites, but these are the 6 screenshots that have been revealed. We've gotten a little bit of information on the bikes, what we're going to be able to use on our players, a little bit of information on the clubhouses, some features as well, but really there hasn't been a ton on the Newswire. Really Rockstar have just had a paragraph, and then they've touched on a couple sentences based on each photo they've released, which actually hasn't been a lot of information compared to the other DLCs that we've seen in the past. So I don't want to, draw on this too much, but maybe this means that there isn't going to be as much as we thought in this update. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of content, but it's just so surprising that other DLCs like Cunning Stunts and Finance and Felony had all these news wires and of course trailers that provided a ton of information, and this one seemed to not have. So let's run down everything we know that's going to be coming in this update so far that is going to be purchasable. So we obviously know there's going to be new vehicles. Now, from what we've seen so far, it looks like there's only going to be bikes in this update. Now that's just from what we've seen in the screenshots and from what Rockstar have stated. There's obviously the possibility of them adding new vehicles. There's obviously the possibility of them bringing back some vehicles that we already have in the game, like the Lost Slam Van, the Duke of Death, which would be awesome. But for now, it looks as if there's going to be 3 types of bikes. New motorcycles that Rockstar have created, motorcycles that are going to be returning from the Lost and the Damned, and motorcycles that are in Grand Theft Auto 5 right now that'll have the option to be upgraded at the Biker Mechanic Shop. That kind of brings us to phase number 2, the Biker Mechanic Shop. What's it going to be like? How are the prices going to be like? Is it going to be like Benny's? We'll touch on that a little bit later as well. We've got the MC clubhouses. Are they going to be similar to the CEO offices? And then we've got everything else that Rockstar are going to be adding. Weapons, clothing, tattoos, everything like that into the game that's going to make Grand Theft Auto Online Bikers a really cool update. Now, there's obviously going to be a couple things that I'm going to leave out here, like the cooperative gameplay, new modes that we're going to be talking about, features like being able to use melee attacks on the bikes. Clearly, those aren't going to cost money, so we're going to be leaving those out in this video. So based off of the information Rockstar has provided us and the screenshots we've also seen so far, they have shown off anywhere from 6 to 7 motorcycles that are going to be in this update. Now, I believe that that is not all of the motorcycles we've seen, and I think that total is going to be from anywhere from 10 to 11 bikes. And I think that that's going to be a good amount of vehicles, at least from the start. I also think there's going to be some hidden content within this DLC as well. I'm not sure if I want to include that in this video because that's all about bikers, but I think at the end of the day, there's going to be anywhere from 10 to 12 motorcycles. As I mentioned earlier, some of those bikes will be brand new. Some of those bikes will be from The Lost and the Damned or Grand Theft Auto 4. And I believe some of them will just be modifiable versions of existing bikes we have in the game. Let's say like the Demon or the Hexer or something along those lines. Now, luckily, motorcycles are traditionally less expensive in Grand Theft Auto Online, although we haven't had a DLC that has been focused on bikers since the prices of online items have really started to go up. So if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say that all of these bikes are going to be anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 just to purchase them. I really wouldn't expect to have Rockstar give these bikes away for free and make them like $10,000. That would actually be really surprising. That would be awesome, but very surprising. So if we're getting, let's say anywhere from 10 to 12 bikes, $100,000 to $300,000 for each one, that could be $1 million to $3 million just to purchase all of the bikes. Now, I know not everyone is going to purchase the bikes, but if you are in that scenario where you want them all, that's kind of the baseline for how much money you're probably going to need. Now, that also brings us to the next step, and that is the MC Clubhouse and the biker mechanic. Now, the way Rockstar worded it on their newswire, they said properties that include MC Clubhouses with a special custom biker mechanic. So it almost seems as if you will have to purchase the clubhouses in order to get access to the biker mechanic. So let's talk about that first. How much are the MC Clubhouses going to be? The real only other thing we have to compare this to would be Grand Theft Auto's yachts, as well as the CEO offices. Now, I don't believe these are going to be as expensive as the CEO offices because obviously those were high-rise mega offices. These are likely to be abandoned gas stations or they're likely to be broken down buildings. So I can't see them being as expensive. I'm going to say anywhere from, let's say, $500,000 to $2 million. That's on the low end to the high end. Just like how the CEO offices had a kind of cheap option to the very expensive option of the Maze Bank building. So I think that's actually going to be a little bit better of a reprieve for you guys right there because the motorcycle clubhouses won't cost that much money. Because even in Grand Theft Auto 4, they were just like other houses or apartments. They weren't anything special, so I wouldn't expect Rockstar to make them too expensive. And now what this leads us to is probably the biggest question mark of this update, and that is the custom biker mechanic. Because everyone in the back of their mind, including myself, is really worried about the prices of the biker mechanic just because of the way Benny's worked with the lowriders. I mean, Benny's would take a $10,000 car, require you to pay $400,000 just to upgrade it, and then you'd spend $1 million on customization. I really hope that's not the same fate for the bikes, and I don't think it is for two reasons. Number one, I think Rockstar kind of learned their lesson with that, so I don't think they want to like upset people with that. And number two, I think generally there's going to be less customization for the bikes just because of the way they are. I mean, obviously, I think we're going to be able to upgrade the wheels, the handlebars, obviously things like the fuel tank and everything else, but I don't think there's going to be as much customization as the Benny's vehicles, which in turn will automatically make them a little bit cheaper. But I still hope that it isn't anywhere close to the Benny's style customization price, because I know that's going to be a huge turnoff for a ton of people that are really excited to customize these bikes. And another thing we need to think of with the clubhouses is, are there going to be upgrades that we can do to them? So just like the CEO office where we could add the 2 safes, we could add the living accommodations. I wonder if we're going to be able to do the same thing with the biker clubhouse, maybe add a bar or a pool table or a dartboard, something along those lines. So those are optional, but obviously will increase the price. So just keep that in mind when you're purchasing these as well, that there's likely going to be multiple levels of upgrades that you can do. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Also, another thing with the clubhouses is we don't know if we're going to be able to purchase more than one, which would obviously change this estimation. But going by what Rockstar have done with the CEO offices where we're locked to one, that's what I'm going to include in this video. Although it would make sense if we had more than one clubhouse, maybe you want operations in more than one facility. So that would be cool. But for now, we're just going to stick with the idea that you can own one. And now what we're going to do is move on to the more miscellaneous things of this update, which obviously includes weapons, clothing, tattoos, sunglasses, hats, haircuts, beards, new styles like that. And honestly, I don't know what to expect from those prices. If I had to guess, it's going to be anywhere from, $5,000 to $20,000. We've only seen one new weapon so far. I'm sure there's bound to be more, but obviously stuff like that isn't too expensive. Where Rockstar is going to make their money here is on the vehicles, the clubhouses, and the customization of the bikes themselves. So the troubling part with this update, as far as predicting how much money you're going to need, is the fact that there's so many unknown variables. It would be one thing if we knew all of the bikes were new, or if we had a trailer, or if we had a general idea of how much the upgrading was going to cost, but because we don't, it's kind of tricky to get us to know how much it's going to be. And for all of these updates, I like to oversell how much you need. I'd rather have you guys over-prepared than under-prepared, because there's no worse feeling than seeing your friends have cool content that maybe you can't get because you don't have enough money. So now let's get into the final predictions for how much I think you're going to need. So let's start with my low-end prediction first. To buy all the bikes, I'm going to say $1 million. If you want the MC Clubhouse, I'm going to say $500,000. And then to customize all the bikes on the low end would be close to $2 million. So if we take that total, that's $3.5 million. I'm going to add another $500,000 for the miscellaneous items like weapons, clothing, and more, bringing our total to $4 million on the low end if indeed you want to purchase everything. And now for the high end estimation on this, I'm going to say $3 million for all of the bikes, $2 million for the clubhouse, and $5 million for the customization, bringing our total to $10 million. And if we add about $500,000 more on that for the miscellaneous stuff, that's $10.5 million. So you can kind of see my range there. $4 million to $10.5 million is what I believe you guys are going to need for the Grand Theft Auto Online Bikers update. Now, once again, that prediction is simply done based on my estimation of Rockstar's previous DLCs, from what I've seen so far of the screenshots, and really just based on Rockstar's previous history of uploading DLCs into the game. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. How much do you think the Bikers update is going to cost you? Do you think it's anywhere between that $4 to $10 million range? Don't forget about the shark card giveaway that I'm doing. That link will once again be in the description. So if you want to win $3.5 million, check that out as well. If you did go on to enjoy the video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.